Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Strategic Command World War II, War in the Pacific, Rise and Fall of an Empire. That's a bit of a mouthful, but it's the newest DLC out for Strategic Command War in the Pacific, which is a turn-based World War II war game that takes place in the Pacific in World War II, as you might guess from the name. In today's episode, we're continuing our Marco Polo to Pearl Harbor scenario. This is episode number 8, so I don't really want to go into everything that's happened. We're pushing deep into China. Our logistics are a mess. The Chinese resistance, while it seems like it kind of melts away and then it comes back and then it melts away and it comes back, we think we're getting their units destroyed and then suddenly they get a bunch more. We're trying to push toward Changsha, but we're also trying to secure our flanks. That's kind of where we're at right now. We're not too far from the final Chinese capital. We're also trying to make a push on the communist capital at Yan'an. In general, just overextended, not enough units, more money than I know what to do with. And that's where we find ourselves. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. That's a real casual, laid back Let's Play series. A lot of my series, I do a lot more talking, if you will, during the playthrough. I talk about what I'm doing, but I think this is a more chill playthrough than some of my other ones. I hope you guys are enjoying it though. That's enough of me rambling. Leave your thoughts below and I'll catch you guys at the end.
I don't know that there's any reason to push up from the south here. It just seems like we're pushing into nothing. If I could, I'd leave a garrison. On just one of these locations. What's the play gonna be like next turn? Pretty decent actually. Okay. I'd rather push west toward Lianshan. I think that's more valuable anyway. And once we mop up around here, then these troops can push west toward Chungking. They really got 40 units and they don't seem to be super concentrated in one spot. Okay. Right. Supply situation gonna be like now? All right. Okay. Back one hex. They did force the river here. Because again, they've got what, 42 units? You got 1, 2, 3 right there, ignoring the communist troops. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12 air units don't count. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24. So that's 24 units that we can see right there. That means in terms of units that we don't see, and I may have missed counting some, they've got a total of 18, which I'm assuming there's at least some on a lot of these towns. So they really don't have a lot. Like it feels like in certain places they've got more strength than maybe they do. 500 MPPs left. I guess the industry technology didn't really open up anything for us there. So R&D is still at 600. We've got 500 MPPs. Might as well spend that on diplomatic chits. We can spend up to 400 of that this turn, another 200 next turn to try and reduce the likelihood of the U.S. mobilizing against us. Chinese guerrillas. I haven't checked to see if guerrillas impact supply. Obviously, if infrastructure is destroyed, they do, but I don't know in terms of like if they actually change the supply you draw in a given turn. I'm not really sure how that works. If those guys moved rather than reinforced, they might actually starve out this turn. There was one advance somewhere. We didn't have any troops garrisoning. They took another town back. We'll have to see what that means. Okay, those guerrillas continue to attack near Haochu Bay. Nationalist and communist troops clash near Xi'an. That seems to be a common trend. Does quite a lot of damage. Actually gives us intel on where different units are too. So each one of those explosions means there's some troop there in that event, I believe. Okay. Does Japanese governance becoming unstable have any impact on us? Okay. His vision faced a strong opposition from the recalcitrant Japanese army. Meyer believes that prolonged conflict is severely damaging Japan's economy and advocates that we make accommodation with China. We get money if we say yes. We get morale if we say no. Okay. Yes. Why does he make a combination with China? And then should we support the army's position to begin? Okay, sure. I mean, we're going to end up... It's over at Pearl Harbor anyway, right? So we need the units. Are there any other places I can deploy on the mainland? Otherwise, I'd rather wait a day than spend money to ship them overseas. So I guess we'll do that. Wait a day. All right. Shattered that enemy army. That pocket should disappear next turn, I think. What's their strength at? 41. So they got a few units as reinforcements. Okay. We're getting sucked down south. I wanted to go for Yan'an, and I have no direct route to Yan'an unless you go all the way down towards Xi'an and then north to Yan'an. Okay. All right, destroy that core here. Are there garrisons we need to have? Strictly speaking, no. This is not a rebellion risk. We broke through here in the center for sure. Okay. Where did we see a little bit of push in where we didn't? Nanchang here. Which is great because we actually have troops that are just in theory coming free from that direction. May not quite get there in time. We need to pull someone back. All right, these guys are dealing with attrition. Let the artillery finish them, maybe. Nice. I didn't actually expect the artillery to totally finish them, but they did. We'll have to shift some troops to try and deal with this push. Fuck it, it's not a rebellion risk. Put some troops in Fucho so they can't just move in behind us. It's elite division, but oh, come on, you didn't destroy him? What are you doing? All right, so the enemy is continuing to be grown to be made weaker. 36 units left. Air unit can hit them too. Oops. Okay. Poor weather down here in the south is going to impact mobility. Two left. Maybe the air power can finish them off, but probably not. Oh, they did. Nice. All right, another Chinese unit down. Puts them down to 35. There is no indication of Chinese troops anywhere here in the south. It'd be fun to just push, take a bunch of these cities. Some of them, well, they don't really have national morale or MPP value as far as I can tell, but it's territory. Granted, there's an actual rebellion risk that we have to garrison for here, so that kind of sucks. But maybe we can shorten our front, tie down all these cities down here, and then just shift north. Okay. Moving toward Chungking, actually. Okay. Nice. So we move toward Paho. which is deep in the enemy rear. Move toward Ankang, which is an alternate Chinese capital, or communist capital, I think. Yeah, they're running real low on troops now. They're down to 34 and 8. Okay. Let's take this turn to do some reinforcements for our air units in the north. Chungking is not that far away. We should probably take Hengkao, secondary supply, maybe Quilin. I don't know, maybe not. Okay. Probing toward Epai. The one unit we haven't deployed yet. Diplomacy is 2 of 2. I don't know what that means. It wasn't there before. Maybe you're only allowed 2 diplomacy chits there now. I don't think that was a limit earlier. Okay. Sanchi government moves to Lishi. More guerrillas. I wonder if at some point something will change where some of these non-uprising hex guerrillas turn into uprising hex guerrillas, because that's something that does happen in other versions of Strategic Command, where like certain events trigger a change in the uprising patterns. I hope not, because that'll make our lives much harder, but we'll see. And I wonder if some of these Chinese troops are pulling back more toward the hinterland to try and make a last stand, if you will. Seems like they're definitely falling back now that we've taken some of these outlying capitals recently. It was a very quiet turn for them. Meanwhile, now we've got even more units to deploy. Enemy didn't look like they got any reinforcements. So the hard thing is going to be for us to try and move through these mountains. Some of these, should I just reinforce? Can I even reinforce? A little bit, but not fully. Okay. Chinese division or communist division destroyed it in front of Lishi. Oops. All right, Chinese headquarter. Who's the leader of this headquarter? It's Chu. Yongcheng. Overran them. There's got to be guerrillas up here in the north. Maybe not. Okay. Let's move the headquarters down here. Pushing against some of these communist forces. We just destroyed one. They're sitting on 7 units. All right, destroyed that Chinese unit. So moving that supply will help the supply a bit. Okay. Let's Interesting. It's easier to move that way. All right, we're going to push toward a pie in the north as best we can. Let's look to free up some Tazaro. Let's move them. I don't know. We've got more headquarters out that way. Let's move them there. And then we'll move this anti-aircraft unit to Tazaro. I'd like to upgrade that artillery, but we've also got to go ahead and get them out of the way so we can deploy new troops. All right, we'll do a division and a light tank. Air unit and the engineer can go here. We actually have an extra armored unit. We can rail out of here. I guess the armored thrust is really going to be in the south. Okay, we'll keep that last air unit for next turn. Okay, the enemy's at 34 and 7. We've done the north a little bit, not entirely. Jeez, there's a large concentration of troops here. Shattered. Enemy army destroyed there. In Kang, which is a primary supply center and an alternate headquarters we just took unoccupied, just shows how manpower strained they are. They may come in behind us and cut us off, but that also cuts the supply to the communists from the south. We just actually Paho just did last turn. But if we look at the diplomacy and where's the convoy screen? Here, there's no longer supply from Britain to nationalist China, at least through Hong Kong. There's still the Burma road. But we cut the north-south road. So that's pretty big loss for the communists because they really needed that aid. All right. Did we fight with these guys already? Okay. Can we destroy more of these garrison units that are kind of a pain in our ass? Got those guys. Got those guys. Nice. Come melt away with me into the night. I'm just going to assume we're going to see a drastic reduction in the number of frontline units that the Chinese have as a result of some of these attacks. So I'm assuming it will not be empty next turn, But Hengkao is unoccupied. Okay. If I was the Chinese right now, I'd be freaked out. We basically just broke in toward the center and center of the what's left of their front. Chungking is heavily fortified all around, but there's not much between us and them. Taking this railway here down toward Hongping. Guilin might be an alternate that they could move their capital to. Maybe. Okay. Actually, need to make sure no guerrillas right. Well, we don't actually have this province yet in our control, so they presumably won't rise up against us. I don't particularly want to take this communist base because now I've got to garrison it, but... All right, so all those units destroyed. They're down to 28 units left. 28 over quite a wide front. Not even sure. Oh, they do have 2 units to the west near Wuchou. So we may need to consider that. They could come to our flank. Okay. All right. Yeah, stuff we're taking down here, take maybe here. Not much in the way of guerrillas to worry about. All right. I guess we just keep pushing. Do I have any money to spend on? Do I have any new units I can spend money on? Not really. Heavy artillery, I guess, but... R&D is still maxed, right? Oh, no, we do have a little bit of bandwidth there. All right, let's do mobility. It's probably too late to matter there, but... Okay. And then diplomacy's already maxed out. So we'll end that turn. Yeah, we'll end that turn. See what November of 39 has in store for us. Some new units being raised, presumably some militia right in front of us. I'm assuming those are free, brand new units. We'll see if they get up over the low 30s, which is where they were last. With that cavalry in on our flank. I think that's a militia unit based on the rifling looks different. There's the crossways rifle hold and then there's the offensive rifle hold. I'm assuming there's a difference there. God damn it. Communist base at Lulan and our rear is liberated because I didn't garrison it. Damage evaded? Those jerks. How? All right. What did they do unit wise? They got maybe a couple, not much. Okay. All right, let's push toward Yunnan through the mountains. Wow, this is like where all their troops are, it would appear. All right. Lishan is fallen. A little bit spread out here, but can we get in behind the enemy troops yet? Not really. All right. I probably shouldn't have spread the supply will be okay for most of them. We badly damaged the Chinese army up there. They're at 31 units. Okay. Cavalry could try and cut off our unit down here. Moving back to Palo. That alternate capital makes him a tempting target, I'm sure, for a Chinese thrust. Okay. God damn it. I misclicked on the wrong hex. Shattered that Chinese headquarter. I think we've just defeated the Chu headquarter before. Okay, got that one. Back down under 30 units. All right, a Henkao, which is a secondary supply, which would be great for us to base some troops out of. Or really a headquarters out of. Okay. All right, I'm going to move this guy to Henkao. Move another one of those headquarters forward. They're all moving kind of south, which is almost like the wing at the Marne in World War I coming up a little bit shy of the actual desired target. So maybe we should push a little more west rather than swinging south on these industrial targets. But there is a capital down here to take too. Okay. Last we saw there were multiple large enemy units out this way. All right, I will move some infantry up that way. Okay. All right, who do we want to... Probably move these guys, right? Next turn, maybe? Did I move on transports? I didn't mean to do that. Okay. All right. New medium bombers we can use. Technically they're naval bombers, but whatever. We use them in the reduction of the communists up here in the north. The new unit in there too. Okay. Headquarters are always good. Combined SLF regiment elite suffers attrition losses. Oh, poor supply. Shouldn't see surrenders of the loss of a capital. Guerrilla activity. How many men do they have left? They were at like 28 last turn, right? Like almost the entire communist army is sort of in that one blob there in the north. Also by Shensi surrendering, does that change the front line at all? Not really. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 communist units all right there. They have a total of 11. So they did get some, and they got like 10 new nationalist units this turn too. Jesus. All right. Well, they got some meaningful reinforcements, suffice to say. Oops. And we'll just set to work killing them again. Okay, we'll cut off that artillery, see if we can do some damage. There we go. Got the communist guerrillas. Now we'll garrison the place. Bomb these guys. Interceptors will fight it out. Shatter that one. All right, we need to garrison, what is it, Yinlang or whatever it is up there. We have to take it, but we can take it next turn with those guys. Okay. All right. So kind of bypassing them and getting Suta and coming down from the north might be an interesting tactic. Okay. These guys already fought. At least a lot of them did, not all of them. Okay. All right, we're going to move these guys to Hankow to try and get them into a supply center. Okay. All right, we need to push. And those are strong army groups in our front. A considerable amount of the force that the Chinese still have appears to be here. Heavy artillery crippled one of their lead defensive divisions. And we pushed him out, or back, or whatever. Destroyed him. Okay. They have 33 units left. 5 of them right here, which makes sense that they would gather a lot of troops around Chungking. Okay. Okay. All right, so yeah, 2 units there. The Kwantong mines are at least worth 7 MPPs a turn, so that's something we should probably try to close up. Okay. Did we still have? No one's at Shanghai, so we can deploy new units there. All right, that's the problem here, trying to push on Yan'an as the supply situation. This mountain cuts us off a lot, but maybe we can move our cavalry down this road. Okay. $150 for R&D to spare. We can spend that on honestly, I don't even know. Production, I guess. I have so many units just hanging behind. Just garrisons. It feels wrong. Trying to defeat the communists though in the north and the nationalists in the south simultaneously may not be the best tactic. Do they not have upgraded long range or ground attack? So inefficient. All right. More attrition for those elite troops. Some Chinese guerrillas. All right, what are they going to do? They got like 10 more units last turn as we approach Chungking, maybe. They going to use any of those offensively to try and punch me in the mouth? Or are they going to sit back and try and have me break them on them? Well, they're threatening Pucho from the flank, at least. They're using their numbers to perhaps overextend me. Attacking that air unit. Oh, that was soft. Okay. Okay. All right, destroyed the enemy unit here, took that capital. Where are they at? They were at 37 or so last, so they didn't get, doesn't look like they got any reinforcements last turn. Okay. All right, destroyed that enemy regiment here near on the initial drive on Chongqing. Destroyed the 27th Army here. Should have. Supply is not very good. I was going to say should have decent supply there, but apparently not. All right. Okay. What happens if he takes the airfield that my aircraft are at? I don't really know how that works. Okay. The slogfest toward Yunnan. All right, Yangchang, which is kind of, I believe, the forward operating base for a big chunk of their, most of these troops all sitting here. Just lost. Okay, 1-3 across the river. All right. They're down to 30 units again. Okay. All right. All right. I think we're making a pretty good push. Okay. And surrenders at the loss of their last capital, I guess. So she mines. Okay. China continues to counter Japanese attempts to subvert the Chinese Republic. No, they retook that town from us, bastards. I hoped maybe the zone of control would have blocked them moving between those two units and attacking that bomber, but it would appear not. They really just want to push forward, huh? They're just like, fuck you, we're going to attack. Certainly what this turn feels a little bit like. Falling back toward Yan'an. Now, the Chinese nationalists have lost multiple capitals, but the Chinese communists have not. All right, shatter that Chinese communist unit. Okay. Yay, we took this town. So, things are opening up in the north a bit. I don't think there's anyone there yet this turn either. We can push forward on Anpai and... Okay. So we lost the airfield, but the air unit adjacent to it still is alive. Okay. Units for China. Be great if they retreated north. Okay. Supply situation there is rough, but maybe it gets a little better. In front of Xi'an. Okay. All right, Luchou Falls, that's an alternate capital as well. Okay. Well, we can't ignore this army on our flank as we move toward Chungking. It's just... You just can't do it. Okay. All right. Some of our boys are linking up with the troops from the north, starting to link up with troops from the south. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for today. I know this has been a little bit more of a chill, quiet stream while I try and figure out what to do. We're approaching Yan'an. I don't know if we'll get there. Logistics are tricky. Approaching Enpai in the north. I think we'll get there. We're also approaching Xi'an and Chungking. So we may be moving close to a final victory. But we will see. It is January of 1940, and we're definitely overstretched. The game's got that part right. But that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. And until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you very much for watching. And until next time, I'm out. Bye-bye.